is the biggest reason why people umphahlwa wabantu fails. Okay. We don't understand that there is a fundamental difference between a spiritual advocate and a spiritual guide. The two are very different, right? And another name for a spiritual advocate, we can call it idlozi ebeliphila noma idlozi eliphilayo, whichever one you want to use. Idlozi ebeliphila noma idlozi eliphilayo is anyone who was, or spiritual advocate is an ancestor who was once living. They raised you, they grew up with you, they lived with you. They know the demands of your life. They know what are your deepest desires, how you think, how you feel, how you exercise your autonomy and your agency. They know who you are in the living realm. They know who you are in the living realm. They know your identity in the living realm, right? Abadala or amatongo in the ancestral realm will be limited in the knowledge that they have of you, because they'll never experience you, right? Because they're not with you in the living realm. Only itongo lako is with you in the living realm. Okay. When one makes a plea, you need to know who is this plea for. Am I pleading to my spiritual advocate, or am I going to plead to my spiritual guide? What is a spiritual guide? A spiritual guide is an ancestor not known to you, but is responsible for helping you navigate the ancestral realm, especially during a lucid dream. So a spiritual guide, right? Okay, or any metaphysical experience. Let me say that your spiritual guide is the person that is responsible for your safety and ensures that you leave on time and determines how much you see and how much you don't see. So what is the process of things? Okay. Your spiritual guide will get told, this is the message Usiyabonga needs to receive. Then the spiritual guide will say, you know what, okay, this is where I'm going to take him, or this is what I'm going to show him. Then the spiritual guide will determine how much I can see and how much I don't see, okay, to get the message. Because the spiritual guide can decide what you know what, I'm only going to show you 80% because you're not ready for that remaining 20%. Or I'm going to show you 60% but you're not ready for the remaining 40%. Okay, so when one has an incomplete dream, you don't make your plea to your spiritual advocate, because that's not the responsibility of the spiritual advocate. The responsibility of your spiritual advocate is to do exactly that. They spend all days in court fighting for you, right? No, Usiyabonga's actually going through A, B, C, D. He really needs help with this. Can you please bestow him with this? And can you please help him with this? Can you please help him with that? Or can you please help him with this? The spiritual advocate is no different to an advocate in real life, a legal advocate. They spend all their time, they spend a lot of time in court, and they don't have time to come and show you the message as well, right? But they are the best person to advocate for you because they know you the best out of all of Amatongo A. Your spiritual advocate is the best person because they lived with you, they loved you, they nourished you, okay? They protected you, they saw you grow up, right? Hence, when your plea, or depending on your plea, right? That's why it's so important to know your family tree. Know who exactly you're speaking to in this Ukupahla, because your message needs to be directed at a particular person. Because if it's not directed, or you don't have specificity with umpahla wako, how can you expect an answer, right? It's no different to sending a group WhatsApp message and expecting a response. But if you send it to that one contact or those two contacts, there's a greater probability of a response, because and on top of that, you can personalize the message. So your spiritual advocate is the person fighting for you in court. If you have a job issue or you want a new job, you do not go and phahla kubadala in general. You call upon your spiritual advocate. Gogo, mkhulu, baba, ma, inganyako, and use your nickname. If they give you a little pet name, use it, because you want to evoke that relationship that you had, right? And your spiritual advocate is the one that will go to amanyamatonga our pets, right? And esigodlweni, and then in court they will advocate for you, which as in Usiyabonga needs this message. Please, can you show him A, B, C, D so he can get the new job that he wants? Then the spiritual guide will be told by the court, which is Amatongo, as in show Usiyabonga, this is the message that he needs to receive. Then the spiritual guide will decide, okay, this is what I think is the best way to show him. When you have an incomplete dream or an incoherent dream, you make your plea to your spiritual guide because they are responsible. If a dream doesn't make sense or a dream lacks clarity, you make a cry to your spiritual guide because the person that is packaging your dream is your spiritual guide. The person that is responsible for how you receive the message is your spiritual guide. Spiritual advocate, spiritual guide. Big difference between the two. I hope you guys